Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. It's JMA Friday, so as always we're having a look at the weather a month ahead with the Japanese and CFS V2 models. It's going to take us into May, can you believe? So we're going into the final month of the spring with this update. Before I get on with that though, just say about the competition. So yesterday, in yesterday's video, we exclusively revealed that at the weekend on Sunday we're going to be launching a competition, and we revealed the prize. We've actually been talking about competition for a little while, but yesterday we revealed the prize that we are giving away. So in association with metcheck.co.uk weather instrumentation, and you can find the link to metcheck.co.uk weather instrumentation on the links page, in association with MetCheck, we are giving away the Climate Night Fishing Moon Phase Clock. This clock will tell you the phases of the moon, the full lunar cycle from the new moon through to the full moon, and then back to the new moon again. So that's the prize we're going to be giving away. It's worth £39.50, but it's actually worth more than that because it can be personalised. I'll talk you through all of that on Sunday when we launch the competition. So if you want a personalised moon phase clock, we'll be giving that away at Gazworthy's with metcheck.co.uk. From Sunday. The competition will run for a week, so we'll start it on Sunday and we'll finish it on Easter Sunday, 16th of the month. So more on that on Sunday. Right, let's get on with JMA Friday. Then we're going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts broken down into weekly periods. The first weekly period takes us from the 7th today through to the 14th of April. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, yellow and orange and red extrapolates to high pressure. So for the coming week, we find we've got quite a big ridge here around the UK and also extending out into the Atlantic as well. There's below average heights up to the north, and the jet stream is coming through the country rather like that. It implies that most unsettled conditions will be to the north and the west. The driest, not completely dry, but driest conditions will be likely in the south and the east, and temperature's pretty mild overall as well. Week 2 looks like this. It's going from the 14th through the 21st. Below average heights to our northwest, above average heights to the south, and also to the south and also to the east as well. So the jet stream is going like that. That looks like quite a warm scenario actually as we're going through into the middle phase of April. I think we'd be dragging up the air from a southerly, southwesterly type direction with that one. Now then we go through to weeks 3 and 4. This takes us through the second half of April into May. We go from the 21st of April through to the 5th of May. And what we find is a bit of a change taking place. Above average heights going up towards Greenland, over towards Iceland. We've also got above average heights across Scandinavia. But otherwise, not a great deal going on. Not a great deal to work with, but I think overall we're probably turning the winds more northeasterly, easterly, possibly turning things a little bit cooler as well. But I suspect there would still be quite a lot of dry weather coming through with that. When you actually confirm the temperature and precipitation anomalies with those heights, if you have a look at this view, this is the mid-latitude and tropical view. The British Isles is just here in the far top right-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it. So a reminder of the 500 millibar height anomaly for week 1. We have the ridge in the Atlantic extending to the south. And you can't see it because it's off the chart, but we know we've got low pressure up here to the north of the country. Temperature anomalies are coming out significantly milder than average, as it is from most parts of Europe as well in the week ahead. Quite a warm week to come. Still a bit wetter than average for northern parts of Scotland. Otherwise near normal to average, or I should say near normal to drier than average precipitation in the week ahead. Week 2, very similar. Again, we've got the above average heights down to the south. We've got below average heights up to the northwest. And the flow is coming in rather like that. So the temperature anomaly, not as great an anomaly as you have the week 1, but still more or less on the milder than average side for that week 14th, 21st of April. Precipitation, again, looks a little bit wetter than average to the north and west, drier than average for England and Wales. And then we go through to weeks 3 and 4, when it all gets rather complicated looking, but we've got a ridge up here, and I thought possibly we might be starting to bring the wind round more towards the east or the northeast. So the temperature anomaly is still coming out milder than average. Again, not as great an anomaly as we have in weeks 1 and 2, but still on the milder than average side there as we go through to the end of April and start of May. Precipitation, however, does look a little bit more rainfall coming through there. And quite interestingly, if we go over here, you can see most parts of the continent are coming out wet as well. And you can't make it out that well, but eastern parts of the country look wetter than western parts with that. So I think we are probably seeing heights rising. Remember, it's a 2-weekly anomaly, so you might have a transitional period where week 3 sort of transitions to a pattern, then becomes established for week 4, that kind of thing. I think overall we probably have heights rising to the northwest. We may have some sort of a trough of low pressure around central parts of Europe, which might bring in showery, maybe even thundery, easterly type winds. A rather complicated pattern that's setting up there for the end of April and into the start of May. So next chart we're going to have to look at, I haven't got them ready for you, sorry about that. So next chart we're going to have to look at is the CFS. We'll have a look at 500 with our heights broken down into weekly periods. The first weekly period taking us from the 7th through to the 13th of April. The coming week shows got a big area of above average heights around, not just the UK, but many western parts of Europe as well. Dragging up quite warm air from the south and from the southwest with that one as well. We go through to week 2 and we see a bit of a change here, and this is at odds a little bit with what the JMA is doing. So that area of above average heights is moving, it's retrogressing actually out to the west of the country. Trough is over Scandinavia, and we may well be putting down certainly cooler northwesterly winds, possibly even colder northerly winds couldn't be ruled out with that kind of scenario. And it is most unsettled in the east where there could be showers. Otherwise, quite a lot of dry weather, but certainly significantly cooler there through that middle part of April. And then we go through to week 3. This one is the 21st through to the 27th of April. What we see, again, above average heights are out to west, below average heights across Scandinavia. And this could be putting down a proper northerly wind, actually. So that one looks quite chilly as well. Not what we want to be seeing, really, at this time of the year. Latter part of April, it's a period where it's all going on in the gardens and in the fields. Lots of fruit blossom and that kind of thing coming out. That kind of chart would suggest at least a possibility of frost, and that's not really what we want in the middle part of the spring. And very little change, really, as we go through to week 4. This takes us from the 28th of April through to the 4th of May. It's very different to what the JMA is doing. But we have above average heights out to west and the northwest, below average heights still across Scandinavia. Probably putting down more of a northwesterly wind with that one. So there is a little bit more of an Atlantic component, meaning it might be slightly less cool, less chilly. But overall, it's probably still a bit cooler than average, I would have thought. Let's have a look at the temperature anomalies. So the coming week, very straightforwardly warmer than average. Both the JMA and the CFS are in agreement with that. We're going to have another pretty mild week coming up. Week 2, which takes us from the 14th to the 20th of April, shows slightly mild average conditions still to the south of the UK, but elsewhere we're nearer normal. So quite clearly, for this middle part of April, there is a drop in the temperature taking place. It's starting to turn cooler then. And then as we go through into week 3, which is the 21st, 27th of April, actually go a little bit colder than average. Probably can't make it out that well, but a little bit colder than average there for England and Wales. Many parts of Europe also coming out colder than average for that final stage of April. And then we go through to week 4. It looked like we was getting a little bit more of an Atlantic component to the wind. So in week 4, what happens is that we actually find the temperatures returning close to average for the southwest, maybe a little bit mild average, meaning we get to the start of May, we possibly start to get a recovery in the temperature. But at least a week or so of really quite cool weather. if the CFS is right. It is a little bit at odds with what the JMA is doing. Finally, precipitation the coming week, as well as being significantly warmer than average, is also significantly drier than average. However, week 2 is turning more unsettled. The precipitation is average to a little bit on the wetter average side, actually, for the north, indicating quite a significant change in the pattern is going on there through the middle part of April. Week 3, the precipitation is going just really to average. I think we're losing the signal then, as we normally do with these precipitation charts for weeks 3 and 4. And week 4 itself, 28th of April to 4th of March, that one comes out with average precipitation as well, probably losing the signal. So a little bit at odds really between these two models in terms of what they're suggesting. But JMA, well, they're both in agreement that we have a warm week to start off with. So going up to middle part of next week, temperatures probably coming out warmer than average. Beyond that, however, they are a little bit at odds. The JMA indicates really a continuation of warmer than average conditions through to the second half of April, possibly even going to the end of the month, although eventually by the week 3-4 anomaly probably does turn a little bit cooler and more unsettled. The CFS is quite bullish, however, on turning things significantly cooler through the second half of April. And it wouldn't surprise me, actually, if the CFS is the way this kind of plays out. I think the CFS looks a little bit more plausible compared to the JMA, which looks a little bit odd, especially that week 3-4 anomaly. So I would suspect we've got to watch out for a bit of a cooler snap here through the middle second half of April before we probably get a recovery in the temperature and in pressure as we go through to the very end of April, probably into the start of May as well. That will all tie in quite nicely with the Gasworth's April forecast. Right, that's it. We'll do JMA Friday next week, of course. And remember, these charts are highly experimental. They are prone to chopping and changing. So next week's update could look very different. So we'll do JMA Friday again next week. Tomorrow is a weekend forecast. So come back for that. That's all for now. And thanks for watching.